Located 4701 Barrera Drive, Motown, Texas. Molina neighborhood.
Welcome to the Volo Podcast, home of the black sheep and the outcast. Welcome to the Volo Podcast, no cap, true stories, what you know about that? Welcome to the Volo Podcast, home of the black sheep and the outcast. Welcome to the Volo Podcast, no cap, true stories, what you know about that?
All right. We're back. I'm the Volo. I'm your host, El Vago. Today we have a special guest. He's a correctional officer. You know, he wants to keep his identity concealed. So, you know, he's going to go and tell us about how it is, you know, in his line of work. You know, on this other side, we always have our guests, you know, a bunch of inmates talk about their life and what they went through. You know, now we're going to see what the, you know, a CO goes through in there every day. And thanks for having you, bro.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. Get the other side of the story, you know. I go in there with respect for everyone. I don't care kind of what the cases are because I try not to read what they're in for. Even though I have access to all that, I can find out how long someone's going to be locked up. I try not to do any of that because you already been judged by your peers, you know?
Yeah.
So I go in there, I try to do my job as best as I can, but even when you're doing the job, trying to get these guys what they want, you're still being called all the names, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch my language a little bit, but, you know, you go in, next thing you know, you're a hoe, you're this, you're that, you're everything under the blue moon and God green's earth, and you gotta keep doing that every day, day in, day out. And it kind of sucks with us right now because we're short. Where I'm at, we're considered 40%. So you're working 4 days extra overtime, having to deal with that. They try to get you in on the easy spots on the unit, but depending on where you're working, there's no such thing as an easy spot. You know, some of these new boots that come in that are correctional officers, they get a little scared because they hear G4, G5, Seg 1, Seg 3, custody levels, which are going to be the worst of the worst. But in my line and experience, I've seen G5s get their G2s, and now they're walking around. This was the same guy that was probably threatening you maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, my line of work, get military veterans sometimes that come in and they leave.
Yeah.
Because they say it's like an active war zone. You're always on edge, even though not everyone's in there for murder or rape, you know. Not in there for the worst of the worst. They're in there for DUI. I know I've been out for a little bit, came back into the system myself, and it's changed a lot because I'm used to dealing with the guys that had 15 plus years or considered lifers.
Yeah.
You know, what we would call convicts. These are the real guys, the ones that understand respect for respect. You know, some guys being an asshole to you. You know what? I'm not opening up your tray, so I'm not going to feed you because you're acting this way. You know, you got ways to go around it. Or say he puts his hand through that hole where you feed him through. All right, I'm stop chow. I ain't gonna feed no one else, and next thing you know, his arm's in because he ain't trying to beef with no one on the pod. So, you know, my line of work, it's a lot of mental games. You gotta learn how to talk to people, learn to respect them, no matter what field of life they come through. Because even the ones that you think that aren't gonna cause you issues, they'll cause you even more issues. I know we got something coming around where it's going to be good. I know a lot of us are like, man, this is dumb, but it's rehabilitation. And some of these COs that I work with get away from that. And what it is going to be like what they're introducing into the system, which is going to be, if you've been out for a minute, you're going to be like, what the hell? Just because what they're bringing in is going to be like a dorm setting like you're in college, in a sense. Better TVs, couches, pretty much like you're living in an apartment in a sense. Try to make it more relaxing and get you more comfortable with life. So there's some things that they're trying to do to help what our mission is for TDCJ, but You get a bunch of COs that come in there thinking they're the police, we're the cops, we're in there to bust heads, making life hard on y'all.
Yeah.
That's ever been an inmate. You know, me and you've been knowing each other since what, 2015, I think?
Yeah, around that time.
And y'all met me when I was first a CO.
Yeah.
Worked out. I never gave you hard times. You never gave me hard times. We worked out together. I remember one of y'all's buddies freaked out when he found out a CO.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was fresh out. Took him a while to warm up to me.
Yeah.
But, you know, I go in there to do the bare minimum of my job. Make sure you're fed. Your housing's good. You're getting your showers.
Yeah.
Getting what you're supposed to have. You know, nothing more, nothing less. That's how I am.
Yeah.
But it's like I tell the guys that are in right now, don't make me do the whole full part of my job. And one thing I'm having to get back on is some of these younger bucks, guys younger than me coming in, thinking they have to prove something. Thinking that they have to gangbang inside prison.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's different. I was talking to a guy that went out on a 911 Mexican Mafia. He's a SEG level 3, and me and him were shooting it. We're talking about it. He's like, gangbanging out in the streets is a lot different than prison. And I was just like, well, how do you mean? He's like, I can't go into too much aspect, but he was telling me the way they, I guess, traffic and trade certain things is different.
Yeah.
The way they handle up business is a little bit different. Instead of like waiting for someone else to take care of their own, they handle their own.
Mm-hmm.
They try to police their own. Some of them are shot callers on a pod. If you're in a section where you got more than one inmate to a cell, it's 48 in a pod, or maybe 52 in a dorm, depending on where you're at. You always got someone that's a little bit of a shot caller that tries to help the correctional officers, but the way everything's going with these younger bucks, those older heads are fading out, finally going home, catching parole, trying to make a name for themselves out in the free world. You know, they're ready to go home. They're ready to be free and not deal with TDC no more.
Yeah.
And we got something coming around where it's going to be, it don't matter if you're in a gang, you might be walking in population, doesn't matter who you're representing, because they're trying to get rid of segregation.
Yeah.
It's called restrictive housing now, so they changed the name. So they're trying to do what they can to help rehabilitate.
Yeah.
So I know that's one thing that they're really pushing right now. But I can tell you we're short trying to make it all happen. Sometimes you're down on the building, you got 3 pods in a building where I'm at, and you have 2 people on the floor and 3 people on the pickets controlling the doors.
Yeah.
And you're having to watch over up to 432 people and still expected to do your full job. Otherwise, it's your ass on the line with administration. Well, why did this guy hang himself? Well, I was having to feed over in so-and-so pod. You want me to stop feeding so I can go do my 30-minute round every 30 minutes like I'm supposed to? In and outs every hour on the hour? But the peons, the COs, were the ones being held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the shortness, our sergeants are now having to be the rovers and handle business. Sometimes it's just a sergeant on the building doing all of that with pickets. So I know right now it's real tough with everything that's gone on with COVID.
Yeah.
Certain people's administration, they're all leaving. Because at some units, they're at 120% staffed, and they're sending other officers from those units to help out these officers at this other unit. And it helps, but at the same time it doesn't, because they're not sending the same officers each time. They're sending different ones. So they don't know how that unit operates, you know?
Does it make your job more dangerous like that?
Yeah, it does. So when I first started, when we first met, shanks were a dime a dozen. You never really heard about a shank. You never really found a shank.
Mm-hmm.
Now we do a shakedown. We're finding 20 on one pod.
Goddamn.
Yeah. It's getting a lot worse with the shanks. And one of the things that's introduced into that is because of the K2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, me, I never cared about marijuana. I come from a law enforcement background where my family's like, do it at your house. as long as you ain't got nothing like brick on you, a marijuana, or a big baggie of you, they want to do their job too much. They'll be like, hey, I'm going to take this guy away and just take him home, make sure he's good. But now, this K2, the synthetic stuff, whatever they're cutting it with, it's causing these guys to die. Some of these guys are having seizures. This guy.
Yeah, that guy's a straight up shower shark, fool.
Shower shark? Damn it. Hey, you know what's funny? I actually had to be a shower shark because this dude was like psyched out on something. And he kept talking, and it sounded like there was 2-3 people in that one shower. I was like, man, I'm out to peek in just because I got to do my damn job. He's like, no, it's just me. I talk to myself in all these different voices. I was just like, ugh. Like, that's what I mean. Bare minimum, but if I got to do the other part, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start doing that part. Doing it in different voices, so not me.
Dude, it tripped me out because it literally sounded like there was 2 or 3 people in there.
Yeah.
And he was wigged out, but yeah, jobs are becoming dangerous, you know? And you got people bringing in this synthetic K2. Sometimes it's liquid, so it might be on paper. And you're not always thinking of that, so you don't always put your gloves on real quick. So you just put you don't do that sometimes. You just go in sometimes.
Yeah.
Into a cell, you start touching stuff, and you're like, oh, something's going on.
Yeah. Have you ever touched one?
Knock on wood, not yet. I try to wear my gloves a lot more, especially after we had an incident where he was a psych. He wasn't on no drugs, but if you saw this incident, you think he was because they tased him, they gassed him. Dude pissed in his own hands to wash off the gas, and he was calming us down like, hey guys, let's come back in a week and talk. I'm fine, like I'm good here, I don't want to move. And we're like, we can't have you here, dude, because it was a holding cell, it wasn't his actual cell.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm fine here, just come back in a month. We'll talk about it in a month. It's like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Then some of them get on that K2, and the buddies try to help each other out, you know?
Yeah.
Your guys that are with you, that you make, I will say, friends with, you know, they try to help out each other, and I appreciate that. But, they try to help each other out to, like, maybe rack them up. Hey, instead of locking down the whole section or the whole pod, let's just get them back to this cell, put them away, let them sleep it off. Sometimes we're trying to do that because sometimes it's 6-7 dudes.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are fighting each other. As soon as they touch their hands, boom, right there's a fight. And it's this homeboy that he's been chilling with all day.
Over that K2 shit.
Over that K2.
That's some dangerous shit, man. I didn't know people were still doing it.
Yeah, they're still doing it. It's only getting worse.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're cutting it with, but it's getting worse. Yeah. Especially that liquid stuff, because it's as soon as you like touch it, they say it's starting to affect you almost instantly.
Yeah.
That's why they cut out like mail. So we got those tablets in now on TDCJ. They work. They help keep people calm. You know, I know a lot of us are like, man, that's not good. That's going to be bad. And it goes both ways on that.
Yeah.
It's cut down on the paper. Our mail people aren't getting affected by the K2 as bad. Their job safety is a little bit better now. Less mail coming in. But they're hiding it and everything. You name it.
Yeah. So the inmate, they have tablets?
Yeah, they got tablets now.
With the internet on it?
It has some type of internet, but it's like very restricted, like child-proof to the max, where you get mail, you can buy videos on it like $20. Tablet costs $140 to get, but you have to separate it from your commissary account. So you have like a Securus account, what it goes through. You got a commissary account, and they separate it now, where you have put that money onto your Securus. So you can't just do it through commissary. And some of these guys get it, some of them don't. It's how they're doing it now. But those tablets help out because instead of getting like family photos in the mail now, you're getting them on that tablet. But one thing we're having there to deal with too is you got some thieves. They're stealing these tablets. And it sucks for these guys because some information's out there in the world. Well, he makes a quick phone call. Hey, I just stole this tablet from so-and-so. What's his state security number and what's his TDC number? Because you need both to get in. Once they do that, they start jailbreaking some of these things. And some of these guys are smart. I ain't gonna lie. I always ask some of these dudes that I see that are doing some crazy crap in there, making stuff or building their like soldering guns, like tattoo guns we all know about, but soldering guns to like make the radios work better, put lights in them. I'm like, where would you be if you applied yourself out in the free world like that? You know, I have to ask that sometimes. Because some of these dudes are smarter than me, guarantee it. And I'm just like, that's smart. It's like some of them are, modifying these tablets to be lighters. So they're getting an arc on the tablet and they're lighting their wicks to smoke decay too. I'm like, what the hell? Saw it in a picking one day. I was watching him. And I kept seeing the arc. And he's just trying to get the smoke. I'm like, the hell? Smart.
So how are they getting it in there though?
Let's be real. Free world people coming in.
Yeah.
Dirty officers, dirty education people. Sometimes it's through the mail where they're getting like illegal mail. They still get that through the paper. Some stuff they still get paper.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably getting it through that. It's coming in through a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's like they're still getting cell phones, Wi-Fi routers like that. It's like it's just coming in from free world. There's no other way for it to come in. You know, people risking their jobs or risking their livelihood because.
Have you ever caught one?
Have I ever caught one?
CO.
So, I actually turned in 5 officers a long time ago, drinking a hooch, and apparently they were in a ring where they were bringing stuff in. You know, so I didn't catch them personally. They were already under investigation, but I helped get them all fired.
Yeah.
So I haven't caught no one personally yet. I hope that I never do because I might go off.
Yeah.
And there's times where if I go off, you think you're dealing with someone that's been in the military and I'm not even in the military.
Yeah.
Just a way I can snap off. Yeah, we pretty much do time with y'all. Because right now, like I was saying earlier, we're short. We don't even get breaks. We get a tray that comes to us from the ODR. Eat our tray real quick, get back to work. So we're working 13 plus hours right now. I know a lot of us work up to almost 16. Then we got our 4 days mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us are working more than that. So yeah, we are doing time with y'all pretty much.
Yeah.
Know y'all better than my own family sometimes.
Yeah.
And,
You become pretty close to some of the inmates.
I won't say I get close to them. Not
like in a professional manner. Like,
oh yeah,
you know,
I keep it very professional every time. Some of them I can speak more like this, how we're talking. Other times it's more like I'm their dad. Sometimes it's you think I'm a drill sergeant in the military.
Yeah.
Just going off, yelling at you because sometimes that's all they understand.
Yeah. How are the youngsters making it out in there now?
They're the ones that give me the most trouble.
Yeah.
You know, the youngsters are the ones giving us the most trouble. It's like I was saying, I dealt with cons, so if I was like, man, you know what, you're jacking my tray slot, I ain't feeding you on an old convict, that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Get my way, feed, go back up, talk to them. Hey, what's going on? These young bucks, you try that? I don't care. So what? I'm going to stay here. Just doesn't work the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And then those tablets, like I said, a blessing and a curse. Sometimes you're trying to talk to this guy and he's on the phone with his family on that tablet and you're trying not to curse this dude out because that's unprofessional.
Yeah.
Not trying to say the wrong thing because that can get you hemmed up.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're on the phone. So you're having to be careful now because they might have like I said, their people on the other side recording what you're saying. So you're having to be careful with that now. You're having to be very mindful. And right now we're on a de-escalation thing where it's like de-escalate, de-escalate. That de-escalate stuff doesn't always work with some of these guys. And sometimes you have to go in on them.
Mm-hmm.
Got to go in hard. You got to use the gas. You got to use the taser. You got to run the 5-man team on them just to get compliance. But they're trying to get step away even from all of that.
Yeah.
To the point where sergeant can't handle it, call a lieutenant. Lieutenant can't get it, captain. All the way up to the warden, even to a regional director.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, call everyone and their mama that's a CO to come talk to this guy. And it's always the next step, and everyone's trying de-escalation, and we're all telling them the same thing. Well, it don't work that way. We're all telling them the same thing because we're trying to follow our policies, you know. So I know for me, someone who's more by the book, who tries to get everyone what they're supposed to have, not what they're asking me running to my son Bryson. Depends on where he's at. I'm not gonna say where I work, but it just depends on what unit's at. I ran across coming back and forth where I'm at. You work with 3,000 inmates. In general population, you're looking at 2,600. So it changes, not all the time, but right now we've been having a lot of movement with stuff going on all these units. So there is a possibility. I don't remember names too well when it comes to these guys. I remember more of their housing and where they lived, just because it's easier, just in case I have to write what's called a case.
Yeah.
And when we write cases, that takes away privileges like recreation, commissary, phone time. It does some stuff to them, but it's not like bad, because it's just taking away stuff for a few days.
Yeah.
Well, I say a few days, but 30 to 45 days restrictions. They do stack, but there is an intermittent time that we do give them where they can have 1 day off of these restrictions, then they can go back on.
Yeah.
So
Shit.
it's a possibility I've run into your son, but if he's not down here in this little area, I doubt it. You can always look up at what unit he's at. You go to TDCJ website, offender information. You can look them up there. You type in their TDCJ number, and you find them like that. And you can find out what unit they're at as well. So.
Yeah. Shit. Have they since COVID? Has there been any like big outbreaks in there since then?
I wasn't in for COVID, but what I heard, there was a massive outbreak of COVID during that time. Between officers and inmates, everyone was getting it. Officers were having to call out 2 weeks, stay out for the 2 weeks, come back, get it again.
Man, it must have been a dangerous time during that time, man, for everybody.
That's what I heard. It was a very dangerous time at the time when COVID hit and everyone was going through it. One thing that they did tell me too is that some of these people are having to work with COVID.
Shit.
And that's why it kept spreading, you know. Can I get extra dessert? Man, right now we don't have even dessert. I haven't seen dessert at all lately.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see that. You have to make it, got enough commissary, you know, use the soda, put in the thing, crunch up the cookies, start making yourself a cheesecake guy.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. Oh, man.
Give him a weenie. He'll be happy.
Give him a weenie.
That's what they call him, Weenie Boy. Chingo, man. Yeah, so there's been a lot of crazy incidents in there. Have you seen?
Yeah, just like 2 months ago, we had 2 riots pop off back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird. One popped off. I never got the reason on why that happened, but the other one popped off. So when the first one popped off, they're running commissary down on one pod. So commissary said, "Nah, y'all having a riot. We're done for the day." And that's why the second riot popped off, because commissary said we're done, and they were mad about that. And I get it, you know. You're not getting much on these meals. It's like going to a cafeteria in a school, getting a little scoop of this, little scoop of that, scoop of this, maybe 2 scoops if you're lucky that day. In the it's something like I'll call it hamburger helper, pretty much looking stuff. It's not hamburger helper, obviously, but it looks like that. You might get 2 scoops of it that day when the food service people are feeling good and generous. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, yeah, a lot of these guys are relying on commissary. Yeah. So I get why they went off, you know. And like we tell them, there's a certain way to do things. There's certain ways not. And that's our de-escalation type. Because sometimes you do these other things where you pop off or you do the stupid stuff. And now you're in seg locked up and you ain't getting nothing, you know. Well, not seg, but restrictive housing. My bad. It's called restrictive housing. They changed the name from administrative segregation to restrictive housing a while back, but outside old head, so I can still call it the old stuff. Yeah. It's like normally you'll hear me say TDC instead of TDCJ. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things that are coming through that are changing.
This guy.
Man,
he can't
commissary. Man, you can't even spell commissary.
You got a smartphone, even your phone's dumb. Chingo, man.
Hey, these tablets, I've seen them. They're pretty neat. They're updated. They're actually came out with a second version of it because they get them. They used to have the magnets in them, and they were breaking them open, taking that magnet and make speakers. And with that magnet, and they're taking those making speakers. They saw that they're like, okay, we're not gonna have that no more. But these tablets are like, they're gonna be like newer, like the tablets we get out in the free world, and they should have the autocorrect for your spelling too. So for him to misspell commissary, I don't know how.
Yeah. A lot of people dying there still.
Yeah, a lot of people still are passing away. From what I'm seeing though, it's not mainly from suicides anymore, like you probably dealt with back in the day, and what I dealt with back in the day. It's mainly because of these drugs that are coming in.
Yeah.
And they're overdosing. It's gotten to a point where sergeants are having to pick up Narcan in the very front. And sergeants and above all have Narcan just because of the drugs. So you're dealing with less hangings and less people cutting themselves. It still happens, but more people are suffering because of these drugs coming in now.
That's crazy, man. So they're not killing each other like back in the days.
Not right now. We've had a few inmates on inmates assault, but not as bad. I know, like I was saying earlier too, we got a program about to happen where a lot of these gang members are about to come up, where they're, I guess you say, more restricted gangs. They're already, like I was saying, the guy from the transport, he was talking to me on it. He's like, more likely once they lit us all up, it's going to be a bloodbath for 2-3 years. He said, unless y'all start separating us now and get it where only certain gang members are in certain ones where we don't have the rivalries or what you call it. Yeah, the gang rivalries pretty much, or any beef.
There's still a lot of gang activity going on though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a lot of gang activity. So, we go in there as COs and it's just a mental game for us. We hear that crash gate. Got to flip a switch with the I don't give a damn attitude, what happens, but you got to give a damn. How you talk to someone, how you treat someone, because just because he's a G1 status inmate, never had anything go on, you don't know what happened last night. He might have gotten a call that someone died in his family, that was his anchor.
Yeah.
It might have been his mom. Might have been his kid. You never know. Then you just talk to him wrong that one day, or you go do a soul search on him that one day just because he was messing with you, and it's the wrong time.
Yeah. Because
some of these like newer cats, they try to act tough on it. And I say act tough because of what I've been personally dealing with on them. I'm going to go do a soul search. No, you're not. I walk in their house and they're not stopping me. I'm sorry, I thought you were going to stop me, guy. Have a few words, get an understanding, and I might walk out. If I see they're gone already and they've been causing me issues all day, say they went to chow, by the time they come back to chow, I'd tear up their house. Might not have taken anything, but I'm going to tear up the house. And one thing I'm respectful about, because some of these guys still have like family photos coming in, I don't mess with those.
Yeah.
Those will stay perfectly neat where they're at, because that's the one thing I just don't mess with. But everything else is free game. Commissary, your sheets, clothing, that I'm going to mess up. But family photos, nah.
Yeah.
Then you got some officers, and that's why I say we got to be careful with that. They don't care. They're going to tear it all up, family photos, and it's like, dude, why are you messing with the photos? That's the one thing you should not mess with, at least. Especially if it's one of the guys that's been in 20 plus years.
Shit, yeah, for real, man.
Because he might have a tablet. Those tablets, like I said, cost $140. Then you got the thieves dealing with it. So, and you're trying to do everything you can as a CO, help them out. Well, where's it at? We don't know. We can't help you get it. Well, don't y'all have tracking on it? No, sadly, we don't. Gotta get with Securus. It was stolen. And what they'll do is they'll shut that tablet down, issue out a new one, reset it for you, help you out, get all your stuff back.
Do they have to rebuy it, or they just get another one?
If it's stolen, they'll help them out. They won't have to rebuy it, thankfully. But it sucks because right now you're looking at a waiting period of a few months before you can even get a new tablet or even a tablet to replace yours, because these guys are destroying them. They're getting stolen. And they're just
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
crazy, man.
a lot of things that these guys are supposed to have, they can't even get right now just because someone's either destroying it, making something else, or just ruining it for everyone else. It's changed a lot since I've been out, came back in, but you see it and it's just like some things are good and other things aren't, man. And it's crazy because when I was first in, I was a little younger buck,
Mm-hmm.
didn't really care. I was ready to fight, right? I was ready to fight, I was gung ho myself. If I could avoid it, I would.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just respect for respect. That's how it was.
Yeah.
They were good. Nowadays, I'm trying this now, and it's not working that much, And it's more of, well, if he's giving me this, can he give me this? If I get this, can I get this? And they're trying to get more and more away with stuff, and it's like, dude, y'all realize I'm more by the book.
Yeah.
If you're trying to go outside that book, I'm not really going to help you out. Now, every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, dude, it's my birthday. Can I make a quick call to my family? I know I'm not supposed to be out because I deal more with the G4 and G5 guys, the guys that are on more lockdown time than anyone else compared to for general population. You haven't caused me any issues. I got you. But when I tell you rack up for me.
Yeah.
And we'll get some respect like that. Some of these young guys, they do that same thing, but hey, okay, we got a deal. And they break their bargain of the deal.
Yeah.
So then it's like, you know what? I'm going to go in your house, start messing up stuff, and the next thing I know, they're compliant.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different world right now.
You ever had to go in there and just beat the shit out of somebody?
As many times as I want to and think about it, I'm not allowed to.
Uh-huh.
Too many cameras. We're soon to be wearing body cams in TDCJ.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Every single one of us about to have a body camera. Right now, it's just captains and above that have them, but they're about to all have them. We're about to be like straight up police officers with a body cam right there. 24/7 recording. So even like cussing, that's not going to be allowed because that might even give you hemmed up depending on your administration, even though everyone cusses. Just like if you read their rule book, they're not supposed to be cussing. We can write them up for it. Us as officers, we're not.
Do you
supposed
think
to.
that's weakening y'all towards the inmate?
Yeah, I do. I do think it's weakening us. And you see it too. Some of these officers that me, like I'm trying to change where I don't cuss because I'm getting ready for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's making me weak, but I know I conduct myself into different areas where I know I can cover my own self.
Yeah.
And I tell the inmates what I'm gonna do. You write that step 1 if I don't feed you. That's fine. I'm going to say you're acting belligerent, acting a fool. So I felt in fear for my life,
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain ways to get around things if you know how to file paperwork. But most of the times when you start explaining it that way, these guys get right. But yeah, a lot of us think it's going to make us weaker. We're not going to have... A lot of us already feel like we're not going to be able to do our job. Even with what we already have in place, and some of us do try to follow it. Now, for some of my counterparts, they don't, and I don't want nothing happening to them, but some of them are bringing it to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But they just got to realize you got to do what's there, what's written. If you don't, it's going to get you caught up. So.
Yeah, man. You have a scary ass job, bro. Like, for real, man. You got a family to go home to, You got to deal with all that shit. That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, right
Hope
now
you're getting paid enough.
Well, we just recently went through some pay raises. When I came back, my first time around, I was making about $2,000 take home.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm about 1,000 up from that. We are getting pay raises. Got some of the best benefits I've ever had from any job.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't complain on the benefits where sometimes the money lacks the benefits make up for. Overtime's there, and that's a pain in the butt because if you work like most of us 4 on 4 off, you got 48 hours to technically work before you hit any overtime, but 2 hours of that's going to go comp time first. So you have to work technically 50 hours for your whole set from A to B card. That's a set 4 and 4 there before you even touch overtime. You already got worked 50 hours.
Shit. Yeah, it's a lot of hours, man.
Yeah, and a lot of us want to go home to our family. I know that's why some of these guys don't, like some officers, as soon as they face some heat, they back down. Yeah, you know what? Okay, cool. Because they want to go home. And I get it, you know. So like some of the veterans I've worked with in the past, they've told me that it's like being in an active war zone. That's how they feel. That's how they think, because you feel like you're on constant guard. Because you go through academy, they tell you treat everyone the same. This way you can be firm, fair, and consistent. Well, not everyone in there's a murderer. Not everyone in there's a child molester. Not everyone in there is for just having a bag of marijuana. Not everyone's in there for the same stuff. They're all different. They're all mixed up. They're a G5 in population, worse and worse because of their behavior. And that guy can be in there for a DUI. Yeah. And some of the things that's making it hard is that they're starting to interblend these. They're not housing them together. They're trying not to. Pretty boy, Theo, get his shit. What? This guy.
He's retarded, man. Pay attention.
I just saw y'all looking up at that. I was like, okay, what's this guy saying?
He got get pushed in by a CO. That's probably why he's saying it.
Probably. And, you know, I've had to do that. One time when I was a sarge, we went on a guy that assaulted an officer. I told my SSI, hey, shoot him something. I'm going to make this guy earn some more. He took it, and that was it. We ran a 5-man team on him. Go handle some more business because they didn't do it during the day. Yeah. But he took it, so I was like, you know what? Here's your breakfast. Shoot him an extra tray.
So are the child molesters segregated from everybody?
No. So everyone's still housed together. What I was getting at was like, you're getting sometimes where a dude that's in there for pretty much life is housed with some youngster that's getting out in 10 months. And that's causing some issues. Yeah. And sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just they're housed on the same pod. And some of these guys are in there for 20 plus years, or might as well just be alive because they got 40 years, 50 years, you know. It's not even a life sentence, but depending on what age you enter the system, it might as well be life for some. I know this good inmate, I call him a good inmate. We're not supposed to say that, but he's never caused issues with anyone, and he's about to make parole. And I'm like, hey, that's good. I'm glad you're making parole. You know, get out of here. Don't come see my fugly face anymore, you know? Yeah. That's why I try still, like, hey, get out. Because I know I got guys out here, you know, like me and you talked. I was like, I'll tell them, like, I don't say names, but I'll be like, hey, I know a dude. He's been locked up before. He's got his own business. He's making it. Yeah. He applied himself. He got out and applied himself, you know? Found his support system. Started making it his own. He started building. Makes more than me, you know? And I was like, he takes care of his friends that are there for him too, you know, helped him out. He's helping them. I was like, try to do that when you get out. Yeah. So I was like, and that was before, you know, a lot of this rehabilitation, these programs that we have nowadays started coming in. The drug programs, the AA programs, the mental health programs, parenting classes, you know, there's a lot of programs out there. If you go on TDCJ, I'm pretty sure you can find them on the website. There's a lot of programs to help these guys. Some of them want it, but it seems more like a lot of them don't. And it's sad, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they still offer school and stuff in there and all that.
Yeah, we still got school. So, you know, they got these, what's called the vocation education, which is more like your life skills, trying to get them to drive an 18-wheeler or how to cook or how to build masonry. There's a bunch of other stuff like that they got going on. So age group, right? Yeah, the age group is different now. I've seen guys that coming in are 18 years old and they're excited to be in prison. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You're excited. You're 18 years old and you're excited about being in prison.
Yeah, man.
It's like you're gonna get a fact check real quick. Yeah. You know, just a while back we had a dude get talking some smack, some youngster. Guy's head busted open by a fan motor because he was just talking to the wrong guys. Yeah. Pushed them the wrong way.
Yeah, man. A lot of the older guys, they don't play that shit, man.
They don't.
Yeah.
And some of these guys that, like I said, that we call the cons, they're about to come out. A lot of them, they're about to start setting the prison straight because they just don't say that my unit, but other units.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, nah, we got to get this stuff straight. Because a lot of these youngsters, they're considering just punks, whether they are or not, just because of their behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a real con, you know, you're like, I don't want the COs in my business, so I'm going to keep my head low. This way I can do what I got to do. You know, traffic and trade, make my money or hustle, whatever it may be, what they're doing it for, you know. But these youngsters, they don't realize that. They get us COs kind of irritated, put them on a lockdown. They act up again, another lockdown. But now he's putting his own self in danger, you know?
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he's trying to catch out. Oh, my life's being threatened. Well, why is it being threatened now? And, you know, if you're a good officer, you go do the right thing, get them out. Hey, pack your stuff. You're by yourself right now. I'm going to watch you. Get them out of that situation. You know, because you got to treat every situation to the fullest extent. That's 100% going to happen. And it's whether it's for a reason that his life's being threatened or maybe he's suicidal, you got to get him out of that situation. You got to treat it that way. And I'll tell you now, not everyone does.
Yeah.
Because maybe he's cried wolf too many times. Mm-hmm. So they're tired of doing the same thing. So, you know, our job is a lot of mental. And it's a lot of mental stress. Physical, yeah, we're on our feet. We're walking around. But if you're just walking around all day, you get used to it. Yeah. You get used to that physical aspect. You know, you're able to sit down when you're able to. Take a quick 5-minute, drink some water. And like I was saying, some of these guys aren't even doing that, where they're just sitting at the desk all day, sitting in with the picket all day, mm-hmm. and they're not even doing the job. And that puts even these inmates at risk. And not just the inmates, but it's putting their fellow officers at risk that are trying to do the job, you know. It's changed a lot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always heard rumors about how it's different now and stuff like that. Like, I don't want nothing to do with none of that shit. Fuck that.
It's not worth it now. Back when I started, you're able to do your in and outs every hour, able to do your rounds every 30 minutes, but now you can't even do that.
Yeah. There's
not enough staff. And some of these units are trying to run like they're fully staffed when they ain't got the manpower. And yeah, you're like I was saying, you got people coming from other units to help out because they got more staff, but they don't know how that unit operates. So now they're putting it in danger because they're operating it different than what they're used to. Even though, yeah, we all go through the same training, got the same books, the same, same post orders. Not everyone does it the same. It varies unit to unit.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got telephone pole units. They operate different than where I'm at. I've never been to a telephone, but we got a guy that came over. He's like, yeah, we operate everything with a crank. There's none of that popping out stuff that these guys are doing where you're at. Like, dang. It's not like the Garza's where it's a dorm setting. And you look in, you got 50 dudes in one area with 6 areas surrounding you. And, you know, you can see straight into there where they're all sleep on these bunks. Because it's more of a dorm setting, you know. Where I'm at, you got 24 cells with 2 people in general population. On a full pod, it's up to 144 dudes, 48 in 3 sections. If you're in seg, depending on how big your seg is, you might deal with 8 guys. You may be dealing with 82 guys.
Yeah.
All different reasons.
Yeah, talking about going to prison, this dude has to go do a year.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Hey, just keep your head low, man. Like, honestly, if you got one more year, just keep your head low. Dude, even with some of these officers, just... Yeah.
He has to go turn his... Well, he's kind of on the run right now, so... But, he has to go do a year.
A year?
Yeah. That's why he was going to turn himself in. That's why I had messaged you asking about the lockdown.
Gotcha.
Because he didn't want to deal with that.
Well, lockdowns are coming right now, but it varies unit to unit. Honestly, if you got a year, I doubt they'll put you in anything big. They'll probably put you in that transfer unit, like Garza East, Garza West. Just keep you there and just ship you out once you're done. So this depends on how long you got, how long they actually put you in for, where you might go. Yeah. Some of these guys, don't even come see me at the unit I'm at, because you gotta at least have 5 years on your sentence from my knowledge of it.
Mm.
Hey, some of the soap, I'm not gonna lie, I bought myself some of the soap there. I actually like the way it smells.
Yeah.
The shampoo and conditioner and the soap. I was like, what the hell? Hell yeah. Because I sleep on the unit myself.
Yeah.
Just when I'm having to work more. Instead of my normal 4, I'm working an extra 3 or an extra 2. I can just go there,
You
sleep.
stay there sometimes?
Yeah, I stay there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we got BOQs, bachelor quarters.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes I'll sleep there. Not the most comfortable beds. There's like a little twin on springs. But
Being around that environment all day, walking around, seeing all these, inmates and stuff. How do you feel like when you get in the middle of the mall?
oh hey, so one time I was at the mall during Christmas time. I've been in for a little bit, and I saw these 2 kids running. I was like, I'm gonna yell at them. And my friend's like, she was like, you ain't gonna make them stop if you yell at them. I was like, you want to bet? So we're in the mall during Christmas time, back when it would actually get packed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not how it is now, but it was packed. Saw them running. I was like, stop running. Just as loud as I could. Those 2 kids almost face planted into the floor because of how hard they stopped. So yeah, when I get into a mall, even my fiance tells me, man, you're on edge. I'm on edge every day.
Yeah.
Because your anger goes up, your depression goes up, like all the negative emotions you can feel, you get them from prison too. You're around those guys, and you try to sometimes be human with them when you see them crying because something's going on.
Yeah.
And you're trying to make sure they're not going to do anything stupid in front of you. Because now we got more reach outs for these guys where we can help them. You always had the faith guys, like the religious dudes, non-denominational preachers come around. Well, now they got like peer mediators that we can call out. A bunch of other things to help them out. But yeah, when I'm at the mall, I'm on edge. When I go out to eat, my back's against the wall. I'm watching the door, and I look like a damn robot, just my head turning, just keeping my eye on everything. And I grew up in a family where they trained me to be that way, raised me to be that way, but with this job, it's amplified.
Yeah.
And every CO you talk to, they say they're all like that. They're always on edge. They're always got their head on a swivel. I'm not going to hold it for you, but I'll motivate you, okay? No misfires.
Stick his finger in your butt.
He says that, but I've actually had to help our people do the urine test.
Yeah.
They pulled out a whole dorm up to 125 guys, and I had to stand there and watch 125 fools take a piss. And I'm like, it's part of the job.
Yeah.
And at one point, you just get to a point where once you've seen one, you've seen them all. They're all the same. At one point, you just get numb to it.
Yeah.
And you start stripping people out, and they'll cuss you out. Man, you got to look at my butt. Yeah, I got to look at your butt. It's my policy. I need you to bend over and spread them. And you know what? At that same point, too, it's all the same.
Chingo, man. Fucking yeah, dude, that's a crazy ass job to have, man. This guy. I smile big because I already know your ass. That's why.
That 1 year. But like, you try to be real with these guys. You try not to treat them like they're criminals. Even though they are.
Yeah.
Just you gotta treat them all like humans still, because that's what everyone is. We're all humans still, and not everyone's in there for the same thing. You gotta try to keep that mindset. Because if I went in there with the mindset like everyone's a child molester, my personal life on that aspect, I'd probably be punching every fool.
Yeah.
It's like I already know one officer. He was a good friend of mine. They locked him up because of that too. And if I ever catch him out in the streets, I'm going to jail because I'm gonna beat his ass.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's locked up for. When he was in county, they already
I know who you're talking about.
You might know.
Yeah, he's power lifter.
Nah, not this
that
guy.
one.
Nah, not this one.
He was a CO too.
Oh no.
He was from here in Corpus.
Here in Corpus?
Yeah. I don't want to say the name of the gym because I don't want to shame them, but he was there for a while, and he's the one that got me to go to that gym to check it out. And then he got caught with a bunch of child pornography, but he was a CO.
Damn.
Um, I'll tell you about it afterwards. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. Like you don't even know who's who anymore, man.
Yeah, you don't. Like this dude, he would go ham. Like if someone started pissing him off, he would act like an old CO, like an older head CO, cuss you out, get ready to square up and everything. You know, we thought he was a good boss, but he got caught up in all that and doing it to his own family member. As that?
Damn.
Yeah. They said in county he got like assaulted 3 or 4 times already. Now he's going to TDC, and they're shipping him up north somewhere. But as soon as they get his papers or find out what he's in for,
So the child molesters, they still get it in there. Yeah.
they get that prison justice. Because let's be honest, I've seen people locked up for having a little baggie of marijuana locked up longer than a child molester.
Yeah, I think that's fucking crazy, man.
Same here.
You know, they get probation or they get 1 or 2 years or you know what I mean? Like, but the kid's life's fucked up forever, you know?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's how our system works in the United States, I guess.
Apparently, and everyone I know, we all talk about it. They're against that, but it's like, what happened, you know? And I ain't gonna try to get political on here. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know my stuff on that, but it's like I just hope eventually we get someone to change it.
Yeah, for real, man. I think we're at that time, at that point in this world that like there's a lot of changes that need to be made because for the longest, all the changes have been made for the worse, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Like I was talking to somebody a while back about it, man. It's like in the next 10 years, man, all that trauma stuff is gonna be normalized, man. You know what I mean? It is. You know what I mean? It sucks to say, but it's heading that way. A lot of things that are very, very wrong are starting to get normalized where it's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's funny you say that because, like, I got family, I got people that are part of the LGBT.
Mm-hmm.
I just call they even stop it at the LGBT. They don't call it the plus. They don't call it the QI. They don't. They're talking to some that are more liberal where they have the LGBT plus,
Yeah.
and they're like, no, we still don't even want child molesters. And it's sad that you look at the ones that we used to call mentally diseased, you know, have mental diseases for that, because that's what LGBT used to be, was a mental disease way back in the day. They got rid of that, but even these guys are like, no, we don't want the child molesters. But you got people trying to advocate for child molesters and call them, what's it called now? MAPS.
Yeah.
Minor attracted people. It's like, no.
I heard this. Somebody was saying they're trying to pass a law somewhere where it's going to be a sexual preference, and if the child gives consent, then it's okay. They're trying to pass a law or some shit, but you know how rumors are. I don't know if it's exactly true.
Yeah.
It's just what you hear and stuff like that. But like I said, man, things are just fucking crazy, bro. It's just everything's out of control, man.
It is. You're absolutely right on that. And, you know, I hope they don't do that. Honestly, I really hope they don't do that, because then I might have to stock up on some guns and do like that one dude did in California where he was hunting child molesters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he kept it up in prison too. Yeah. He kept it up in prison.
Yeah.
Started hunting child molesters, killing them out there. They didn't get caught for after like 10. He got 10 of them. Then he started doing it in prison. And one thing I hope they don't do is one thing that California did, and they're actually getting sued for this, is this dude claimed to be transgender, 6'2", like 300-pound dude, muscular as hell, and he's like, I'm a transgender, I'm a female. Still had the male stuff, no transition, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just he claimed it. So they sent him to a female prison.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he ended up like raping 6 women there and getting like 2 or 3 of them pregnant. So they finally shipped him to a male prison for that aspect. So I hope we don't even head down to that path, you know, because you got transgenders in male prisons, and I know TDC, it goes based off what's between your legs and your ID.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got an ID that says you're male, you can have chi-chis on you as a male. But if your identity says you're male, you're going to a male prison. You
Yeah.
know?
See,
So-
David, you're gonna go to a male prison. No luck for you, puto.
And that's one thing I'm seeing more too.
Yeah. No more of those little pretty videos you be doing on TikTok and Facebook and the little
Oh, you're gonna be
sparkly
doing
eyes.
videos now.
Yeah.
It's like when I was there too, the first time we had protected custody.
Mhm.
We still have that in our book, but on my unit, I don't see PC. I think they're out just mixed in with general population now. We used to separate them, you know, for safety reasons. But now you got the transgenders mixed in with general population. Some of these guys are like, nah, I don't want them with me. I don't want them living with me. I don't want that punk, that tranny living with me. And it's causing issues there now. So we're trying to house transgenders with transgenders. But we used to do that back in the day, but they're trying to stop that, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm seeing more of them, and I don't care if someone's trying to do it, you know? But it's causing problems in the prison system again.
Yeah.
And I hate to say we need to keep them where they're more isolated, more safe. But it's like what I'm seeing is safety for everyone's just going out the window.
Mhm.
We preach safety, we preach security, but I don't see it no more.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening anymore for any of us. And it sucks
Yeah.
because the people we're supposed to be watching over and caring for and all this, it's their lives, and that puts us at risk because once they start getting heated in there, the next target is us.
Yeah.
You know, it's 1 to 48.
Have you ever
every time.
seen a CO get hurt real bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it. We watch videos of COs getting stabbed, taken hostage, regular people that come in that are civilians working this job, trying to, you know, earn their living, like the commissary people or the mail people. They get hurt too.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just the COs, it's the civilians that are working alongside us, the teachers that are trying to help these guys get education for when they get out, or trying to do something with their lives if, say, they're in that vocation and they're trying to learn a life skill.
Do you really believe people get rehabilitated? How do you say it? Rehabilitated?
Rehabilitated, they get rehabilitated if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I can think of it. It's like out here in the free world, someone goes to an AA meeting. He wants to sober up in life, or she wants to sober up in life. If they don't choose it for themselves, it's not going to happen. When I was a SEG sergeant over restrictive housing, I saw a dude. He was like, I discharged in 7 days. Sure enough, 7 days gone. 1 month later, he was back. Already back on my unit. I was like, thought you were leaving. He's like, yeah, I messed up again. So I was like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah.
Some of these guys are catching free world charges inside the prison because they're assaulting people. Oh, they're assaulting each other. So some of these guys are like, nah, I'm pressing charges. You know, I watched over this one dude where he straight up said it was a fist on fist fight. He's like, we're good with that. Now I'm pressing charges because he started busting out weapons. And if that dude never busted out the weapons, he's like, I wouldn't never press charges. So everything's changing on how things are getting handled, how maybe inmates are policing each other to help out with us. But it starts with us too, doing our job.
So a lot of inmates are straight up pressing charges on each other and shit now?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Damn, times really have changed.
Mm-hmm. Inmate pressing charges on inmates, getting OIG involved and all that. But they'll be straight up. They'll be like, hey, it was a fist on fist fight. We're good. We still got to do our job, separate them.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, he's like, nah, I won't press charges now because he busted out a weapon, you know? And yeah, we're like, oh, well, that's prison, you know? But this is where that human aspect comes in, too, where it's like, shit, what if that was me in his shoes?
Mm-hmm.
I get where he's pressing charges now, you know? It's like officers, they get assaulted. Yeah, we're pressing charges,
Yeah.
you know? So I can see it.
It's just crazy for me because the world I come from, we're not supposed to do that shit.
Yeah.
You don't press charges. You don't, you know what I mean? Y'all's world is different. You know what I mean? What y'all's doing, that's a whole different thing. That's your job. That's, you know, you don't live by, like, I don't want to say our rules because I'm not involved in none of that shit no more. But I'm just saying, like, the world I come from, like, you don't press charges on somebody. You don't call the cops. You know, you handle it your own and shit like that. And, you know, it's just, it's just crazy. Like, hearing that inmates are pressing charges on each other.
It is, because 5 years ago I didn't even hear that, but now it's happening. And a lot of it's dealing with like mainly, I won't say what it is. Starts with the T. They got the most members, but it's like once you're out, you're out. If you come back, you got sanctity, you know. But if you're out in the free world, you don't have to say nothing to us, kind of deal. But they're not a real gang, you know.
Yeah.
They're just a little clique, but they're the largest clique throughout TDCJ. But when you deal with the guys that are actual gang members, they're not doing that stuff. The guys that are real cons that have been in 20 plus years, they're not doing it. It's a lot of these young bucks or the ones that aren't in gangs, or they're part of that little clique I was telling you about.
Yeah.
And they're the ones mainly doing it that we see. And it's changing the whole aspect of the inmate community. I'll put it that way, because you got the inmate community inside of a prison. You know, let's be honest. Like I said, there's 3,000 on my unit. They're the ones that are running it. We're just supervisors.
Yeah.
You know, making sure you ain't killing each other. And that's still going south too, you know. Because like I was saying earlier, we're short.
Yeah. All right, man. We already ran out of time, man. Anything else you want to say before we end it?
If you have any questions, I'll gladly answer it, man.
All right, man. We're going to go ahead and end it, and, you know, maybe we'll bring you back so we can finish another time.
All right.
All right, man. Thanks for coming, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Hell yeah. It's good to be here.
I'm your host, El Vago, owner, operator of El Vago Burger Barbecue, located at 4701 Banana Drive, Motown, Texas, Molina neighborhood.
Welcome to the Volo Podcast, home of the black sheep and the outcast. Welcome to the Volo Podcast, no cap, true stories, what you know about that? Welcome to the Volo Podcast, home of the black sheep and the outcast. Welcome to the Volo Podcast, no cap, true stories, what you know about that?